$2,200 for every senior, the shocking Social Security reform that could redefine retirement forever. Picture this and really let it sink in. Every senior in America, from the bustling streets of New York to the quiet small towns of the Midwest, from the sunny coastlines of California to the farmlands in the South, all receiving the exact same Social Security check. A flat $2,200 each and every month, guaranteed. No exceptions, no complicated formulas. It wouldn't matter whether you spent your life working minimum wage jobs, climbing corporate ladders, serving in the military, teaching children, or even earning six figures in high-powered careers. It wouldn't matter how much you paid into the system over the decades. Everyone would receive the same flat monthly benefit, $2,200, deposited like clockwork. For some, the very thought of that feels like long overdue justice, a fair system that finally recognizes that every senior deserves a chance at dignity, security, and stability. For others, though, it feels like an outright penalty, a slap in the face to those who worked longer hours, earned higher wages, contributed more in taxes, and carefully planned their retirement based on promises that the system would reward those contributions. But whichever side of that debate you fall on, here's the truth we cannot ignore. This is no longer just a thought experiment. It's not a rumor whispered about in coffee shops. It is now part of a very real national conversation on Social Security reform, and it has the potential to permanently reshape the way every American senior experiences retirement. Now, if you rely on Social Security today, this isn't just theory. This could one day affect the very check you live on, the dollars that pay your rent, your prescriptions, your groceries. And if you're younger and haven't yet retired, this could be the system you're stepping into. A future where the benefit you expected may look completely different than what you were promised. That's why this matters. My name is Tony from Retirees Benefits, and for the past 8 months, I've been doing everything I can to stay on top of these updates, to track every proposal, and to break down every policy shift in plain language so you don't have to wade through hundreds of pages of legal talk or political spin. I'm not here to give you sugar-coated half-truths, and I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you clarity. I've spoken directly with retirees who live on these benefits, with financial planners who help people stretch every dollar, and with policy experts who spend their lives analyzing the numbers. I've followed congressional hearings, pored over reports from the Social Security Administration, and listened to what lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are actually saying. So when I bring you a story like this, I'm not just giving you headlines. I'm giving you context, perspective, and reality. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome to this community. You found a group of people who care deeply about their financial futures, who refuse to sit in the dark while decisions are being made that affect their lives. And if you've been here before, thank you for sticking around and being part of the conversation. You already know how critical these updates are and how fast things are moving in Washington right now. But before we go deeper, let me ask you directly, what do you think about this idea of a flat $2,200 Social Security benefit? Is it fair that everyone receives the same, or do you believe benefits should continue to reflect the amount you paid in over the years? Share your thoughts in the comments, because I read every single one, and your perspective adds real value to this discussion. And while you're at it, please give this video a like. The more engagement this gets, the more it reaches people who might have no idea these conversations are happening behind closed doors in Washington. So how did we even get here? To understand why this radical proposal is being discussed at all, we need to rewind nearly a century. Social Security was created in the 1930s, in the depths of the Great Depression, when millions of older Americans were living without any income, without pensions, and without security. It was a time of soup lines, shuttered factories, and families struggling just to put food on the table. The government stepped in with a groundbreaking promise. If you work and pay into the system, you will have something to rely on in your old age. At first, the benefits were small and modest, but over the years, adjustments were made, formulas were refined, cost of living increases were added, and the system grew more complex. Today, Social Security benefits are tied directly to your lifetime earnings history. The more you earned, the more you contributed, and the more you receive when you retire. That's the deal, and for decades it's been the foundation of retirement in America. But here's the sobering truth. This deal is no longer holding up. As of 2025, the average Social Security check is about $1,900 per month. Think about that. In many parts of the country, $1,900 won't even cover rent and utilities, let alone food, medical bills, transportation, and daily living. For nearly 40% of retirees, that one check is almost their entire income. No pension, no significant savings, just Social Security. And while annual cost of living adjustments are supposed to protect seniors, inflation has been rising faster than those adjustments. Groceries cost more, housing costs more, healthcare costs far more, and that monthly check simply doesn't stretch the way it used to. Add to that another looming problem. The Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out by 2034. After that, the system will only be able to pay about 77% of scheduled benefits. Automatic cuts are coming if nothing is done. That's why lawmakers are scrambling for solutions, but not all solutions are created equal. Some are proposing raising the retirement age, forcing people to work longer before they can collect full benefits. Others want to lift the payroll tax cap so high-income earners pay more into the system. Some are calling for across-the-board tax increases, and others want to privatize parts of the system so people can invest in the stock market. But one of the boldest, most radical ideas being discussed is this: scrap the formulas and give every retiree the same flat payment of $2,200 per month. Now, let's imagine what that would actually mean. For low-income retirees who currently receive $1,200 or less, this would be nothing short of life-changing. An extra $1,000 each month could mean finally being able to pay rent without fear, buy healthier food, afford prescriptions, and even have a little left over for savings or leisure. It could transform their retirement from one of survival to one of stability. For average retirees who currently receive around $1,900, the flat benefit would mean a modest bump of about $300. Not massive, but still meaningful, enough to cover groceries, utilities, or unexpected expenses. But for high earners who currently receive $3,200 or more, this plan would mean a cut of $1,000 or more each month. That's where the controversy begins. These retirees argue that they paid more into the system and therefore deserve more back. They planned their retirements based on those expectations, and losing that money could mean cutting back their lifestyle, downsizing their home, or dipping into savings earlier than they planned. Let me give you some real-world examples. Maria, in Texas, spent her life cleaning offices, rarely earning more than $25,000 a year. Today, her Social Security benefit is just $1,100 a month. Under this plan, she would receive $2,200, nearly doubling her income. That could allow her to finally move into safer housing and breathe easier each month. John, a retired teacher in New York, currently receives $2,000. With the flat benefit, he'd see an increase of $200. Not life-changing, but still helpful in covering rising costs. Then there's Karen in California, a retired corporate executive who now receives $3,500 a month. Under the new plan, she'd lose $1,300. For her, that means cutting back travel, rethinking luxuries, and adjusting her entire retirement plan. These stories show why this proposal is so divisive, because it dramatically helps some retirees while cutting back for others. Together, we are building a place where retirees and future retirees can stay informed, share experiences, and support each other through changes that will shape the rest of our lives. Lawmakers and advocacy groups are seriously considering a flat benefit of around $2,200 per month. For some, it's a raise. For others, it's a cut. And while it isn't law yet, the fact that it's being discussed at all shows how urgent reform has become. So I'll leave you with this final question. Would you support a flat $2,200 benefit for everyone? Or do you believe benefits should always reflect what you paid in? Drop your answer in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with others who need to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's update. The future of Social Security is unfolding right now, and you'll want to stay informed every step of the way.